We don't touch anyone's retirement or anyone who's been promised in, but we go to people like my kids in their 20s when they're coming into the system and we say the rules have changed. We change retirement age to reflect life expectancy.
What's the right age there then, Ambassador?
We've got to figure out what it is, but what we do know is 65 is way too low.
You are not going to get millennials, especially Gen Zers, to work till they're 70 years old. There's no incentive anymore. At least 30 years ago, the incentive was you could work 40 hours for 40 years, afford a home, afford a living, have retirement, and have hope. You took those incentives away from the younger generations. You want them to work 40 hours a week for 50 years without being able to buy a home, with living paycheck to paycheck, working 40 hours? You want them to work 40 hours in corporate America plus commute and then drive Uber on the weekends just to afford groceries? Corporate America needs to change their incentive. Where's the 4-day work week? Where's the more than 12-day PTO? Where's the 9 to 3 job with the same pay instead of 8 to 5:30? You need to change the incentive. You have corporate America bragging about corporate profits at an all-time high, and yet middle-class people can't buy a house and get by and putting groceries on credit cards. That's the America we live in. We have people working at multi-billion-dollar organizations who have to apply for government assistance working 40 hours a week. This is an American problem. This isn't Nikki Haley. This is a left, right, center. I don't care where you are politically. This is an American problem that has just arose 2-3 years ago, and we need to work together to fix this for the millennials and Gen Zers and future generations.
So let's get a couple of things straight, because neither one of you seem to really understand what the actual retirement age is right now. Since you seem so concerned about the last 30 years, let's go back to 1990. 1990, the retirement age was 65 years old. And depending on the year you were born, it's been ratcheted up until basically everyone right now is 67 years old is full retirement. I'm not sure when it was decided that the only source of income for people in retirement was going to be Social Security, but I don't think I got that memo. And I'm pretty sure the average retiree over the last 30, maybe 60 years probably didn't get that memo either. But let's go back to 1960. In 1960, the average male, worked over 43 hours a week. Now that was just their full-time job. That had nothing to do with their part-time gigs or second-time jobs and any of that nature, but just their main job. They're working over 43 hours a week. And they had a life expectancy of 66.6 years. And the retirement age was 65. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a heck of a deal for me. Work 43 plus hours plus a side job so that I can get to retirement at age 65 and live a year and a half. So my question to you is, what incentive are you talking about here? I mean, you're talking about having an incentive taken away. You actually have to get an incentive for it to be taken away. I mean, even in 1990, your life expectancy wasn't even 72 years and your full retirement age was supposed to be 67. So again, we get to work all this time and be able to retire at 67 and get to live, almost 5 years. So when you sit back and say this is something that's happened in the last 2 or 3 years, where are you getting that data from? I know almost no one who is just trying to live on Social Security right now. And we all knew this was a problem even when I graduated high school in '88. And we didn't complain and moan and gripe about it. What we did is we worked our butt off and found a way to figure it all out. And not just to depend upon the government to give us a Social Security check in retirement. We found ways to build businesses, to set up our 401ks so that we had multiple streams of income for retirement. I can tell you what it isn't, and that's working less hours for more pay. So how about you become part of the solution rather than part of the problem? Dickie out.